get started. So why do plants want their seeds to spread over lots of distance? Why do they want their seeds to go very far? Yes, monkey, hand in straight away.
So they get less overcrowded.
Yeah, cool, less overcrowded. Now, why do plants want less overcrowded? What's the reason that they want their seeds to be less crowded? Yes, Mr. Dino.
Because they want to grow.
Yeah, they
The
want to
seeds
grow.
want to grow.
Exactly, the seeds want to grow and the plants want seeds to grow. P, tell me one way in which seeds are dispersed.
They put stick on animals' fur.
Yeah, animals' fur, that's a good one. What's another way that seeds are dispersed? Monkey.
The wind.
By the wind, yeah, good job. What is another way? Let's go, let's choose people, okay. Annie, what is another way?
By animals.
By animals, okay. Minnie, another way.
Water.
Water, yeah, good job.
By fire.
By fire? Yeah, okay, fire is a good one. The bushfire in Australia. And that happened really recently, right? Now, the eucalyptus plant is a fun and kind of scary fact. A eucalyptus plant will grow in such a way that it only releases its seeds when it's actually on fire. So I know that the Australian bushfire was really bad, lots of animals died, etc. But in terms of the ecosystem for that area, it can actually be quite good. If you think about all these trees that are only going to explode, or only going to release their seeds by fire, well then you're going to get a lot more eucalyptus plants. However, yes, Dino, this better be a good question, buddy. Yes, Dino.
They make spark to make fire.
Yeah, so basically they dry out. They get really, really dry, so that when lightning strikes, bang, you get explosion of seeds. What do you think is bad about? What do you think is bad about?
The atmosphere.
Yeah, what's the bad thing about one type of plant only sending seeds out when there's been fire? What do you think that the problem with that is?
The seed can be burned by fire.
Yeah, the seed can be burnt by fire. Now let's remember, what does fire do, right? Fire gets rid of all plants and all trees. Fire doesn't care if you're a plant, a tree, or an animal, or a human. Fire is going to burn you and cook you to a crisp. So what happens if you have one tree that's only going to release seeds when there's fire? All the other trees are now gone, and you've only got one type of tree which releases seeds during fire, meaning you're just going to get a lot of eucalyptus trees, right? There's going to be no other trees growing, and it's not very good for the ecosystem. And eucalyptus plants are actually poisonous. They're really good for if you ever have like a stuffed nose, you kind of feel sick, eucalyptus is very good for you. So we said that seeds are designed in such a way so they get dispersed, so plants can get space, so that they can grow. There's lots of different ways that plants can do it. What is the, how do I explain this? What's the importance of plants having different ways to make their seeds disperse? Okay, let me ask that question again. Why do you think that seeds have developed different ways to go far places? What reason makes seeds be blown away by animals, or moved by animals, or moved by wind or water? Well, what's the reason? But Dina, let me ask you this question as well. Like, even if a plant or a flower doesn't make seeds one year, is that going to stop it from making seeds the next year?
I think no.
No, it won't. It's just going to happen at that time. Maybe the plant didn't get fertilized. Maybe there wasn't enough pollinators, okay? Remember this as well. There's a movement at the moment called Save the Bees. Bees are super important. If you think about all the food that we get from plants and plants and flowers, and think about all the animals that eat those plants, well, without pollinators, we're not going to have any, will we? And that's not good. So we got to make sure we keep our pollinators, don't kill the bees. We seek to save the bees. So back to my question. Why do different seeds have different ways to disperse their seeds? Reason is their environment. Okay, you think about places where there's lots of wind and there's not that much animals. Well, then you need the wind to pollinate the flowers. If there's a place with a lot of animals, well, then hold on, we need animals to move our seeds. Yes, Kent, what's up? Cool. Yeah, and like that's a really interesting point as well. Is that plants need animals. Why do you think fruit is so tasty? Why do you think when you eat a strawberry you go, that's really nice? Or you eat a blackberry you go, that's really nice. It's really nice because the plant, the flower said, do you know what? I need animals to come back to me. The best way to make them come back to me is to give them something which is really nice. Strawberries, plants like animals like strawberries. Yum, yum. Strawberries. Yay, yay. Seeds everywhere. Thank you very much for strawberries. That's a really good example of what plants have done. Okay, so I'm going to jump in. I have some more experimental questions for you.
Move around.
Yeah, so
plants are unable to move around.
Yeah, good job. So plants are unable to move around. What is the next one? To ensure the survival of their offspring, their seeds need to be what?
Seeds need to be dispersed.
Yeah, good job. Seeds need to be dispersed away from the adult plants. This prevents plants from
This help prevent the plant from space or competing. I don't know.
Competing. So competing means in competition. So if I said that, P, what's your favorite sport? So the San Francisco 49ers were competing against the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? So they're in competition. So this prevents the plants from competing for sunlight, okay? Yeah, it's competing for sunlight. Okay, next one. Emily, do the next one, please.
I did not raise my hand.
Emily, sorry for asking. Elsa, what's the next one? Oh, so plants are unable to move around to ensure the survival of their offspring. Their seeds need to be dispersed away from the adult plants. This prevents the plants from competing for sunlight. What else? Mineral salts and
water, mineral salt, and space.
Yeah, good job. Water, mineral salts, and space. So that's perfect. That's spot on. So plants are unable to move around to ensure the survival of their offspring. So that means that plants can't move to make sure that the plants that they reproduce can't move, which means that they can't move somewhere else to put their babies. So what they need to do is find ways to do that. So they seeds to be dispersed from adult plants to make sure they don't have to fight for sunlight, water, and space. They don't have to compete for it. Okay, so that's basically everything we need to know about seeds in a nutshell. But what we need to do is then think about it further, okay? So let's look at this next section. Question number 2. The following pictures show fruit or seeds. For each one, identify the method of dispersal and give a reason for your answer. Okay, so everyone have a look at number or letter A there, please. Why do you think, what way do you think letter A works?
It is exploding.
Exploding. Okay. So I'm going to take that further. Why do you think it's exploding? Okay, that's a difficult one to explain. I'm going to try to help you all, okay? So when we look at a seed, we take a few things into consideration when we look there, all right? We try to make decisions based on the shape of it, okay? You know that if it's got like a big parachute and it kind of looks like a ballerina, that it's going to get blown by the wind, that the parachute is going to be taken away by the wind, and the wind's going to move it somewhere else, okay? We know that if it's pointy and prickly, like my beard, that it's likely it's going to get stuck to animals, right? So it's going to get stuck to stuff. So we can guess that by the shape. When you look at something like this, and you can see that it doesn't really have kind of, you think it uses hooking. Explain. Tell me.
It uses hooking. It is attached to like bush, and when an animal fur or people clothes brush through, it will hook in.
I thought it was a snapdragon. Hold on, let me have a look. I'm gonna see if I can find this answer. Because
the sharp end and it is like a C, so it can hook when something is brushed through.
okay.
Because the C is exploding, so I know the A will not explode.
Okay. Okay. So you think the method of dispersal is animals, and you think this because the shape of the hooks on the top? Yes?
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Dino, I think you're right. Okay. So once again, whenever it comes to a scientific question, what I want you always to do is to make sure that if you say something, you tell me why you think that, okay? Lily, what about B? Talk to me about B. What do you think the method of dispersal is? Bill, what do you think the method of dispersal is for letter B?
It's a cone.
A cone, yeah. So what do cones use in order to disperse their pollen or their seeds?
Wind.
Yeah, wind. Good job. Okay. Now, Bill, why do you think wind?
Because the wind will blow the seed from the cone away.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's try this. Because it is a cone, right? And cones use wind to blow their seeds and pollen.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's a good answer. Okay. And Mr. B, number C, what do you think?
Shape.
Yeah, the shape, right? The shape. The shape is a good way to tell exactly what kind of method of dispersal it is. If the shape looks like a parachute, looks like it'll get blown by the wind, it's probably going to get blown by the wind. Yeah, okay, good job, B. Tall trees in a rainforest often block sunlight from reaching the ground. The plants below can be found near or on the ground of a rainforest. Describe how each one is adapted to survive in an environment. So look at plant A and look at plant B. How do you think each one of these is adapted to grow in their environments? Let's go. Elsa, what do you think? What about plant A? How do you
The plant grows on the tall tree stem so they can get enough sunlight.
Yeah, exactly. So they use the tall trees to grow up and get some sunlight. Pencil, what do you think about B? What do you think that plant has done to survive? The animals take it away, okay. But it's trying to get sunlight, Pencil. How do you think that plant gets sunlight?
It has long leaves.
Yep, it has long leaves. Exactly. It has really long leaves. When it's getting long leaves, it's the ability to grow into different places to try to find the sunlight. If its leaves were short, small, where's the sun? Can't find the sun. But now that the leaves are long, it can find out where the sun is. Yeah, good job, both of you. So plant A will use the stem or bark of another tree to grow up it in order to try to get higher to get some sunlight. And plant B has got long leaves, which allow it to search and try to find out where the sunlight is. Good job, two of you. Well done. Okay, next one. Fill in the blanks with correct answers. So plants that live in very cold environments have special adaptations to prevent their what from what? What do plants have adaptations for in cold environments? Monkey.
Plants have very cold environments in very cold environment have special adaptations to prevent their seeds from freezing.
Their seeds from freezing. Okay, that's one. What's a? You can give me another answer. Dino. Sorry.
That live in very cold environments have special adaptation to prevent their non-pollinators from spreading the seeds. So they don't have pollinator, but they can still uh, po- take the seeds to other areas like wind or water.
Yeah. Okay. It's actually quite hard, so I'm going to help you with this. Plants that live in very cold environments have special adaptations to prevent their leaves from losing water. Fir trees have a natural antifreeze substance in their bodies for this purpose. Other plants can, uh, I'm pretty sure it's eat their own leaves and remain dormant for the winter months. So let's move that on. That's a bit too difficult. We haven't really done that much of that. Okay. The study shows the plants that live in cold environment. So look, there's a close-up picture of the leaves. Study the picture and describe how this plant is adapted for this environment. Look at the picture of the leaves. They're like needles, right? What do we say that needles were for? Minnie, what do you think those types of leaves are for?
The needles are for the plants don't lose many water.
Yeah, exactly. So small needle-like leaves are to make sure that plants do not lose a lot of water. What is the name of the process that plants lose water with? It begins with T. So it's called transpiration, okay? So the process of plants losing water is called transpiration. So as Minnie said, the reason that you will get a lot of plants, especially in colder environments, having very small leaves like this is because they want to make sure they do not lose that much water. Okay, let's look at this question. Sagebrush is a plant with a root system that can span a total of 25 meters in diameter. How does this feature enable it to survive in a dry environment? So if you have a root system that spreads out over 25 meters, how can this help you survive in a very dry environment? Let's see who I not heard from today. Razor. A large diameter. So diameter. A sagebrush is a plant with a root system that can span 25 meters in diameter. I'm going to show you what that is. So let's draw a circle. So this distance here to this distance here. It's called the diameter. Okay.
Because it
Emily.
okay.
Emily, why do you think?
They could live in a dry environment, so the root system can have a span of total 25 meters because they could find water in some other places.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, that's a fair enough answer. So, if you think about it like this, if you live in the desert, you want to get as much water as you possibly can, right? So, what you're going to do is you're going to put your roots as far as you possibly can to get as much water as you possibly can. The further out your roots go, the more chance of getting water is, okay? So, having a diameter of 25 meters is not only going to be good for the plant to make sure it gets water, but it's also going to make sure that the roots actually do what they're supposed to do as well. Give an example of another plant that lives in a dry environment. Describe how it is adapted to survive in such an environment. Who can tell me another type of plant that lives in the desert? This is very easy. So, come on. Jasmine, tell me another type of plant that lives in the desert.
A cactus.
Cactus, cool. And what adaptations does a cactus have to survive in the desert?
The cactus have spines to protect them from animals.
Yep, they got spines to protect them from animals. Good job. Hen, can you give me another example of another type of plant that lives in the desert? It's kind of hard. So have a look at this plant. What do you think this plant has done to adapt to allow itself to survive in the desert? What does it look like it's got?
It is very sharp.
Yeah, it looks really sharp, right? So once again, kind of similar to the cactus, it's got pointy leaves, looks sharp. It doesn't look like something that I want to jump into, right? I don't want to jump into that. It looks pointy and I reckon it would hurt me quite a lot. Yes, Laura, so.
I said that the leaves are pointy to protect themselves.
Yeah, good job. So I would agree with you both that it looks like the leaves are very pointy in order to make sure that the plant can protect itself. Okay, so that is us with about 3 minutes left. Now,
The flower.
yeah, good job, buddy. Well done. Okay, let's go. Question number 2. The bald cypress tree produces seeds that are protected within cones. This tree is found in Florida swamps where heavy rains create floods. The floodwaters spread the cones throughout the swamps. And what role do floodwaters play in the life of the bald citrus tree? Pollination, fertilization, seed dispersal, or removal of dead leaves?
Seed dispersal.
Seed dispersal, yeah, seed dispersal.